Hello everybody and welcome back to Madden 2005 in the Oakland Raiders franchise mode, and we are back. And with year number 5, we're kicking off year number 5. We don't have so much of a different team, more of just a more expensive team. And we really don't have a ton of cap room, guys. I don't know if you guys saw it on the screens in the offseason video, but we have like $3 or $4 million of like cap room. So if we suffer a lot of injuries, we might be screwed, so to speak. We might even be selling off some pieces to try and get some, try and free up some money for year number 6 or get some draft capital back. I don't know, but that's all further ahead. Today is week number 1 with the New Orleans Saints coming to town, a team that is very, very interesting to me, writing down and looking over their numbers and stuff for this video. So outside of a 9-7 wildcard finish in year number 1, they've been pretty mid to just bad ever since. So they went 6-10 in year number 2 and then have been 7-9 the last 2 seasons. So they're missing something to get them over the edge, but looking over the roster, I really don't know, where to start with that, because obviously the biggest question mark is quarterback. So Aaron Brooks, since he's been the starting quarterback for the Saints here, he started the last 2 seasons for them, he has had less than 3,000 yards, and then last year he's had 17 interceptions for both seasons. So last year, he only played 12 games, which was one of the issues for the Saints, I can tell. But clearly, they need something happening at quarterback, but that's for them, man. And then the receiving core is also completely rebuilt. So they had Joe Horn, who retired, and then they also have Dante Stallworth, who you'd think would be really good for them, but he really doesn't have that impressive of numbers in the years since the sim has been going. So it's a weird situation for the Saints, man. But we were getting things started on offense. Tim Couch floats one out to Teo Johnson, who gets put in the spin cycle, and that football's on the ground. That's going to be scooped, and it's going to be a score for the New Orleans Saints defense. Man, so they were getting things started early here in the Coliseum with a defensive touchdown. So if you can't rely on your offense consistently, you better be able to rely on your defense. And the Saints definitely can say that early on in this game as Teo Johnson. A rare fumble from Teo Johnson. I don't think we see a lot of those kind of mistakes from him, but 7-0 is now the score in Oakland. But Tim Couch now rolls out here, but throws it to the other side. It's Maury Norris, the fullback, who's got plenty of open space inside the 5. He's going to get brought down very close to the pylon, and that huge reception for Maury Norris. It's been kind of his biggest contribution to us at fullback is as a receiver, not so much as a runner. But speaking of runners, man, Justin Fargas getting all the way to the outside edge, racing to the pylon, and he's going to get into the end zone. And our offensive linemen, man, Gallery and Bobbins are completely fired up about it, man. I'd love to see it. I'm happy that they're hyping each other up. They did a good job blocking on that play here, giving Justin Fargas plenty of time and plenty of space to get to the end zone. So 7-7 now the score, and we have forced a punt of New Orleans, or for New Orleans, on a 4th and 12. But if I'm showing you a punt, that means some theatrics have to happen here as they punt it away back. And it's going to be a fumble, and the Saints are going to recover it. So, yes, our punt returner, I believe, is still Philip Buchanan. I think kick and punt is all Philip Buchanan. So, Buchanan's got a case of Butterfingers, man. I don't know what's going on over there, but we might need to switch out returners if that's going to be a consistency with Philip Buchanan. So, Deuce McAllister is able to pick up another first down for the Saints. McAllister's been one of the only bright spots for the Saints team from what I could tell. He's been a very, very consistent back for New Orleans in this sim. But on 3rd and 8 here, Aaron Brooks is trying to get it into the end zone, and that pass is going to be deflected, man. Someone came out of nowhere. Superman, completely Superman, to block that pass. So now the Saints are going to have to rely on their special teams unit to get at least 3 points, and they do. So they're going to take a 10-7 point lead over us with our 2 mistakes, leading to all 10 of New Orleans' points. So got to play tighter football here. But finally, the Saints are orchestrating an offensive drive now, not just off of a mistake here. It's one of their own, and that pass from Brooks is completed to DeVry Henderson, one of the newer faces in the Saints' offensive, receiving core. One of those newer faces here. But it's 3rd and 11, and Brooks tries to fire it across the middle. No one is home. That ball's going to sail into the dirt and hop skip like a rock on a pond. So bring out the field goal unit for a 51-yarder. The kick is up. It's a long one. That one sneaks through the corner of the upright, just over the crossbar, and that's going to be an additional 3 points for the Saints here. They're going to take a 13-7 point lead here in the first quarter. So the Saints have been really kind of controlling things, and now 1st and 10 for the Raiders offense here after the ensuing kickoff, and Couch sends a deep shot downfield, and it's Jerry Porter who leaves his man in the dust here, and he's going to high step to the end zone, and that's going to be a Raiders touchdown, and that is the kind of stuff that you can expect to see from this kind of offense, man. That's how we play our football. And this game is already giving flashbacks to to year number like 3 and year number 2 where, we could just kind of score at will on a play or two, and the other team is able to just kind of kill you with paper cuts, just put drives together, capitalize on mistakes, and you got to play lights out offense. So we managed to retake the lead by a point here, even though New Orleans was controlling the football in the entire first quarter. It's still just a 1-point game, and we're now leading it. So Brooks, under some pressure, gets rid of it in time, and once again is going to find DeVry Henderson across the middle, who gets a lot of work in this game. He does get very active here. I don't even, we probably will see Stallworth later on in the game, but on a 2nd and 4 here, Brooks throws it off quickly again, and now it is a new face receiving-wise. I'm not entirely sure which one it is, though. It's not their tight end or anything. It's one of these receivers further down the depth chart. So on a 3rd and 9 for the Saints here, defense applying that pressure to the Saints offense here, and Brooks is able to find an open target across the very middle of the field here, and that time it is going to be their rookie Perry Thomas out of North Carolina. He was the 13th pick in last year's draft here in the first round, and we finally see a little bit of him, but it's going to be Deuce McAllister who finishes things off, gets the last word for the Saints offensive drive as he scores himself a touchdown. He had 9 of those things last year, and he's got 1 now in this game. So 20-14 is the score. New Orleans is back on offense once again, and Brooks is able to hit the rookie Thomas once again as well across the middle. So we might have a little bit of a slant merchant on our hands ourselves, man. Just over 2 minutes left to go in the first half, and now McAllister finds a little bit of open room, and he's going to get a first down. We've done a good job limiting McAllister's damage so far in this game here, but little plays like that he can bite off, that's really massive. We got to limit those. So 3rd and 12 now, we force the Saints, and we give up another huge 3rd down for the Saints as Thomas is able to get another pass across the middle from Brooks. And now that connection is just starting to catch a little bit of fire here. We got to watch out. And Brooks, on the very next play here, is going to try and send it into the end zone, and he does, and it's going to be Thomas once again, man, for a Saints touchdown. And now we are in a bit of a pickle here. We're in a bit of a pickle as the Saints have extended to a multi-possession lead here. It's 27-14, but now with just under a minute left to go here, we're running with a little bit of the hurry up here, and Couch, deep shot downfield, and who else but Jerry Porter, leaving him all in the dust again this time, and he's going to get another touchdown, a 72-yarder, and so our biggest contributions on offense right now have been single plays between Tim Couch and Jerry Porter. That just seems to be the type of game that we're playing right now. I don't know how sustainable that is, as New Orleans' secondary having a hard time just blanketing Jerry Porter, man. And we've relied on that before, but can it win us the game here? At 27-21, we have the ball once again on a 3rd and short, just across midfield, and now that pass is incomplete as Couch throws that into a whole web of traffic to Porter. So they finally got a little bit of defense on that side, and Janikowski's going to come up for a long field goal. We know he's got the leg for it, and he nails it through. So 24-27 now the score. We've evened things up within 3 points of the Saints, who just, for every bit of damage they seem to be doing, we just seem to have an equal reaction. You know what I mean? For every action, we have the equal reaction. So we only trail by 3 points now at the end of the second quarter. Remember, we led by 1 at the end of the first, so the Saints have been pretty potent here. But now, first play of the third quarter, Brooks, back to pass here, fires one off to the right side of the field, and now it's Dante Stallworth getting loose, man, and no one's going to catch up as Esau Reese is in pursuit. No one is going to catch up at all to Dante Stallworth, who finally makes his presence felt in this game. And, man, I would tell you guys stats for Dante Stallworth, but he's had under 500 yards, like, every season so far. He's only had, like, 3 or 4 touchdowns a year. Has not been doing a whole lot, man. That's a guy who probably needs a change of scenery, but you'd think being wide receiver 1 now on this team, he'd probably get a lot of that production that Joe Horn was, but we will see exactly how that goes, man. But all we know is that he just got himself a massive touchdown to take a 10-point lead over us, and now the Saints have the football once again on offense, and Brooks wants another deep shot. That ball being batted around. It's going to be picked off. Somehow a Raider's going to come up with it, and it's Ed Reed heading the other way. I have no idea how Ed Reed came up with that football, but he does. And now Andre Woolfolk is injured on the play. He would ultimately be okay, but still a scary injury to see to one of our highest-paid defensive players. So Tim Couch under a lot of pressure as the pocket's collapsing, and he gets it off to Teo Johnson in time to pick up a first down. But, man, that interception was nuts. That interception was crazy. I have no idea how that even happened. So, but on first and goal here, we're going to hand it off to Fargas. Once again, he's going to get touchdown number 2 of the day, rushing touchdown number 2 of the day. He had 16 of them last year, so maybe we'll see Justin Fargas reach that number. I doubt it, man. That's a career number, but we'd love to see it. So we get back within 3 points of the Saints once again. Brooks man, and now the Aaron Brooks experience has finally settled in as he throws another interception, this time to Will Bartrey, the new cornerback that we just grabbed in free agency. He manages to get himself a pick 6 in this game, so nice to see that contribution already, as Woolfolk is probably still injured on the sideline here. He's probably injured for at least a good portion of the game here, but he would be back moving forward. I know he'd be okay. It's not a lasting injury, maybe for the rest of the game, but Bartrey gets himself a pick 6 in this game, and now we take the lead once again. It took us a couple quarters, but at the end of the third quarter, we finally have a 4-point lead over the Saints. But heading into a close game, and we've seen this before, like I said, flashbacks to year number 2 and year number 3, man. It's a scary situation to be in, as Brooks still has a little bit left in that arm here as he fires that one off towards the left side, and Dante Stallworth getting a reception. There you see he's been pretty productive in this game. I've edited out a lot of his receptions, but he's definitely been doing some things. But on 3rd and goal here, pressure gets to Brooks. He gets hit as he throws, and it's the rookie Thomas coming down with it. But he's going to be brought down well shy of the goal lines. That's going to bring up 4th and goal, and the Saints are feeling gutsy, man, from about the 2 or 3 yard line. And Brooks is going to keep it himself on a fake handoff. And we definitely had guys spying Brooks, but none of them were playing aggressive on the ball, man. They were playing really loose off the ball for some reason. Look at that, man. We got guys shuffling their feet, man. Come on, attack him. Attack Brooks. You got to keep him out of the end zone. So the Saints take a 3-point lead over us now, once again, 41-38, and a huge prayer of a ball down the middle of the field to Teo Johnson ends up in a nice reception. And now we're going to run with the hurry up here as time is underneath a minute and a half. We got to be moving at least a little bit quickly here if we want to tie up with the Saints at the very least. And now Couch, deep shot downfield, and that pass is completed to Justin Gage, but he is out of bounds, man. We haven't seen hardly any bit of Justin Gage in this game. He's certainly been around, but just hasn't contributed too much to any of the scores that we have. But Tim Couch attacking that side again, and it's going to be caught again by Justin Gage, but again, it's out of bounds. So that was on 3rd down, so that's going to bring up 4th down for the Raiders. And now Janikowski, hey, there's an extra football in the field. There's an extra football in the field. Anyway, but the kick is up here, the game-tying field goal, and it is good. So we are knotted up at 41 apiece with just a minute and some change left on the clock. So we are down to a nail-biter once again. We ended last year in a nail-biter, and we're going to start this year on a nail-biter against this Saints team. And Brooks across the middle to Thomas once again. There's nothing but Raiders in the area, but that pass is going to get them. Actually, it's not Thomas. I thought it was Thomas the rookie, but it's not. But the Saints get in field goal position, man. There's no timeouts left, and they are going to run this clock down. So completely unceremonious end to this game here as the kick is up, the potential game winner, and it is good. So yeah, I'm sorry, guys, but I'm sorry. Completely let the air out of things, and I mean, that was just what happened on defense. So we had them stop for a little bit, and then Aaron Brooks was able to find an open target to get them all the way inside the red zone, and that just kind of was the end of the game. We had already used a timeout or two, I think, in our attempt to stop the Saints, because I think we thought they were running clock or something like that. I have no idea, but we used up some timeouts and didn't have nearly the timeouts left to try and make it so we could get another opportunity with the football. So the Saints, once they got inside the red zone, it was victory formation, and we lose. So looking over the stats here, one of the big things that jumps out to you, 1 for 10 on 3rd down. Yeah, you will not win 1 for 10 on 3rd down. Also, the Saints more than doubled our red zone opportunities, and that's a thing to really look at. We let the Saints into the red zone way too much, like way too much. This is an offense that really doesn't have a lot to write home about, and we let them really kind of have their way with our defense, and that's just, I don't know, compared to where we were at last year, it's very, very bizarre. We could just chalk it up to maybe the coordinator's changing, but there's also some alarming performances from this game. Justin Gage was really kind of a non-factor in this game. Justin Vargas, dude, was really bad in this game, dude. The Saints absolutely silenced our run game, and that is something that we cannot allow. So, we come out with absolutely the worst rushing offense in week 1, and we need to step up. We need to be better in week number 2. So, starting off after going 14-2 last year, already starting off with a loss here. It's kind of a rough place to be in, especially heading into San Diego against the Chargers. So, one of the only teams that could probably threaten us in the West. So we got to be sharp in week number 2. Hope to see you guys in San Diego, though, when we take on the Bolts, baby. Play the Chargers.